They'd have been shut by the time we got here. Right, people, 7 o'clock. I'm going to make a start. If I can ask you all to mute yourselves, please. Less interference, the better the audio. Right, first photo on there. I nicked that from somebody put it on Facebook during the week. Just reminded me of our little hound who likes digging as well. As I say, all dogs do. Right, this is from the last, if you remember, 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, we ain't had one for a Zoom for 2 weeks. Somebody mentioned a quiche. Somebody needs muting, please. Background interference. If you can't see this, somebody asked for a quiche recipe. When I put it on YouTube tomorrow, you'll be able to close or freeze the page and blow it up and get it that way. Courgette and Wensleydale tart. That was from Lynn Griffin. Somebody asked for that one as well. So, because I think somebody mentioned there's quite a few things you can do with courgettes. A few things come up, and that have sent me that one as well. So if anybody's interested, if you get a surplus of courgettes, another one was courgette and poppy seed loaf. So you can copy that one as well. When it's on YouTube, it'll be a bit easier. Also, Lynn put a photo on when we did a tour of her back garden about this red currant, and somebody asked where she got them from. This was a long string of small red fruit, very sweet flavour, and obviously Robinson. So if anybody's interested in them, there was a few. That's why I sent me that. Cheers for that, Lynn. Right, this was Lidl last Sunday. Something else, because trying different compost that are supposed to be peat free, as this one is. Where am I? So I bought a bag, 20 litre. Let's see what it says about it first of all. There's all the instructions on the arse end. Peat-free multi-purpose compost, specially produced using high-quality alternatives, that's a good word that is, to peat, such as composted green material, forest product residues. But only a peat-free multi-purpose compost has been specially developed to produce consistent, reliable results even in hot and dry weather. Thanks to its ability to absorb and retain moisture, this first-star peat-free multi-purpose compost is ideal for growing seeds and cuttings, bedding plants, and for potting on. It's also suitable for, right, that's the first bit. Take care when lifting. Always use thick gardening gloves when handling compost. I've never used gloves before, ever using compost. I wonder why that is. Not suitable for limating plants such as rhododendrons. Although every care has been taken to ensure this compost contains no germs, sharp fragments, toxins, or regenerative plant parts, the compost producer cannot guarantee they will never be present. Nigel, got your hand up, mate?
Just a quickie, Mick. While we're on the subject of compost, last week I went to an event at the NEC called Glee, which is a gathering of garden traders, and I went on the Clover compost stand. And speaking to their reps, they have no future plans to start producing peat-free compost. That's Clover.
That's from now?
Yes. Because I mentioned about the 2024 ban to the amateur market.
Yep.
And they says we got nothing in place to start producing peat-free compost like all the other compost companies are currently doing. They've got no plans at all to do it.
So why can't we get it then? Why is it completely sold out?
Why can't you get what? Sorry, Susan.
Why can't we get clover, multi-purpose? Because we can't get it.
We got it round
sold out everywhere.
About the Peter Island.
Yeah, it's about, you can get it. Depends in the garden centre if they're a supplier or not.
Yeah.
Our horticultural suppliers where we get it from Ipswich, they've not had any in. So I guess it's like I say, from Ireland in Pete stores.
I've got to go and see my I've had a few bags off him, but I've been told he's got a few pallets of clover left. Now I've got to go up and see him Monday. Now while I'm up there, now he's been supplied all year and he's still being supplied. Well, obviously up till now because he's still got some. But I'm going to job him tomorrow and get all the ins and outs off him.
Well, the clover rep for the UK is a guy named Andrew Mathers.
Yeah.
There's also one called Sean. I can't remember his surname. He's an Irishman, but it's Andrews. I think he's the clover rep around here.
Oh. So if you can get it, then get it. But looking at this stuff, so the compost producer cannot guarantee they will never be present. All the caution, risk from Legionella. Elderly or infirm persons should take extra care when using this soil. Open carefully with scissors, do not tear back. Wear a face mask when opening. Never seen that before in a bag of compost.
Heck, it's all cover ass. It's all cover ass approach on this bag, isn't it?
Yeah. Do not breathe in dust. Why not? Should there be any dust in? I don't know. Any road up. Let's open it up and have a look. That's opening it up, just having a quick handful, and then I started going through it. Now this wood isn't from a forest, it is nice and straight. I started picking little bits out, as you can see on the top. Going through the lot. In this lot, some of these were solid. There's 3 stones in there, 2 pebbles, but it is these 2 little bits that stood out to me. There's a stone, there's a stone.
Out of interest, Mick, how much was it?
I think that was £2, 20 litre. So it is
absolute rubbish.
Well, that's it. And these 3 I got out. Now that is tin foil. That is plastic.
Tin foil.
And that was like similar to a tin foil as well. You can bend it, shape it. So you're still getting different bits of rubbish. Like God knows where this is from. That ain't from a forest. So any road up. Like these tulips a couple of weeks ago, back garden. So 5 went up that side and 5 went along the top. Them will be ready for next year as well. Right, if you remember my tubs I bought from Wilco a couple of weeks ago, these 2 here, this is where my blackberries are going. Patio doors are here. Don't forget everything is now, it's going to be grown up the back garden. So I've got the wall here and the wire meshes at the top here. Basically I've filled the 2 holes there with some old slate. And that's me chicken manure being surveyed by the house manager. 6 inches out along. Then I get it a good mixture. This is obviously my own brews. There's a goat muck, spent mushroom compost, worm casts, my own compost, topsoil, and these are all being mixed. There's the topsoil, so any bits out of that will be coming out. But basically, I'm going to put a good brew in these 2 pots, like all my pots when I fill them up. So about halfway through, halfway up the pot itself, then I start putting my pots in. As you can see, I'm still a bit too deep, which is what I want. Right, there's about just under the level where I want them. So the first thing that goes under them, just about make it out is my osmuck. So any fruit that I plant out, it's always had a good dollop of osmuck underneath him and in the surrounding sides. So then that is firmed in. These are kept level, ready for when them two go in. Them are the pots I've come out of, so it's a nice same hole, so there's no gaps going round. Right, taking out the pots ready to be put on. Turn these round so these lot point into the wall and not out. So I'll train them up as we've done there. Still got little stakes in, just holding them upright until they do reach that wire, first wire, which they have done by now. There you can see it better. He's about 4 inches away from it now, but we'll get some more update on that next week. Give him a good watering and just help him out again. Put some more small canes in and just a little bit of string just holding them up, telling them where to go. Right, because I've got me fencing in to keep the hound away from the plants, which 3/4 of them are poisonous, because I can't get this trimmer right up against the edge of the grass because of the metal fence. I have to cut the edge with the scissors, but I don't mind doing that. Don't take too long, and the gaffer's watching me any road. Right, getting close to our show day, so I've got to sort my wine out.
Wow.
And all my other bits.
I know.
Somebody's got their speakers on. Can you turn them off, please? Mute yourselves. Talk.
Steve, we can hear you.
Steve.
Who's that? Steve Chambers?
Yep.
Yeah, please.
Steve,
Press the mute.
can you mute you? Right, parsnips are always a good one. That's a nice strong one. So I get the lot out,
No.
and these are brought out slowly. They're not slammed down nothing, because they might, if they've been over a year old, there'll be a bit of sediment on the bottom, and I don't want to cloud it over. So all I'm doing, I'm not cheating, I'm just sorting the chaps out. I'm slowly going to pour them out, meaning I'm pouring slowly so there's no bubbles going to backfill anything. So the little bit of sediment out of there, I swill the bottle out and bung that down the sink. I then pour that back into the bottle. It is nice and clear, no sediment on the bottom. I then fill that back up with water. And if you look closely on the top of that, that tells you it is still a strong wine, because it looks like, so we can zoom on that one. There you can see it a bit better now. If you swill whiskey, rum or any lick spirit around a glass, you can see it like that on the rim of the glass. So although you put water in it, you've diluted it, it's still a good brew. But the judge is going to look for that sediment anyway. Now they're ain't on, so I'm ready for it. Right, when exhibiting, same as exhibiting anything, you've got to read the schedule. Like our schedule for the homemade wines, we've got red and white, which they are. So for red, we got sweet, medium and dry. So there's one each of them, and then sweet, medium and dry for white as well. So I've got to sort out which classes are for what. Right, that's a plum one. That was another one. That's more sediment in the bottom of that one. So that's another one that's been jobbed. Now this one was blueberry, which was a red. Now this was a new one which I did end of last year. I hadn't done a blueberry before. Now you can see some of the wines, the colouring, that's the staining, what it does on the bottle. Meaning if the judge was to look for that, he couldn't see straight through the bottle, because it's that strong, it's staying in the bottle. So I've then taken it all out. That's the dregs on the bottom. I'm going to wash that out with a bottle brush, and when it goes back in, it is nice and clear. The judge will be able to see straight through the bottle. There's another good one. Potato gin, that's always a good one. That goes well on the night. and you can see there it's got a nice strength on it as well, obviously because it's bloody tater. Right, so this year I took 12 bottles ready. Luckily I've got an old Banks's crate, which is perfect with old Banks's. Lovely pint of mile they used to do. So I had banana, parsnip, strawberry, blueberry, plum, blackberry, Cumberland brandy, rhubarb, damson, beetroot, potato gin and Cumberland wine. So trying each one of them, because for instance I had to change 2 of the labels. Say if banana was a white sweet when I made it, some of them do change over time, and I had to change 2 of them. If it's in between a sweet and a dry, then you just put it as a medium, as you can see down here. So I've got 3 red sweets, 2 mediums. Anyway, I got 1 of each anyway. So that's thin them out a bit. Different baskets, these are for me fruit and for other things. These lot I usually get from charity shops, and only about 20-30 pence each. But usually I think I use that one this year for my fruit. We'll see that one later on. But you don't mind leaving it in the show then. Well, you got to leave it in. Everything that is exhibited stays in the show. There is no... So I'll just put the light on, of course, I mean. There's no reserves in the show. I'm going to win Summit anyway, if they win a prize. For them to take the stuff back out. Now we stop back yonks again. So I've got all my jams and my pickles ready, and my wine. These are put in the boot ready to go. Put a lid on them. Now again, bullshit baffles brains, and it does, which we'll prove later on. Right, our marquee come. Luckily Scotty down there, Craytown Football Club, I told him he was coming, he opened up for us, and he rung us when it had dropped off. And I just caught the chap he was going out. But sorted that. I think this was on the Thursday, then the Friday, Thursday night, sorry, Mark, Scott and myself, we started putting some of the frames together, meaning it's just saving time on the Friday, ready for when we put the marquee up itself. Because these lot in this state are still go back in our metal container, the way they are there. This was delivered bank holiday Monday, so that was 5 days before the show, luckily. Otherwise we'd have been in the quag, as you know. Right, on that night, that was a Wednesday night. This is 1st of September. Falcon Lodge talk. Most of the talks I'm doing now, all the garnet clubs are just starting up again, and this was their first talk. Always good down well there. And some still use the face masks, some don't, it's up to them. But in the end it was a good turnout to say it was the first one. I think they was missing about 12, but they still had a few there. Right, the Thursday then, this is before our show, this is our general meeting. This is Reg Mole. He gives us a talk on soils and fertilisers. He's been my compere for a few shows I've been to now. Just zooming in on the chap. He works for a nursery a couple of days a week, but he's a good lad. Here's a bit close up of him. He's at Malvern next weekend. Good talk, giving a talk there. But he's a good chap. He'll talk to you man to man, not like some of the bragwarts that don't talk to you. Which I've met quite a few. And he bought his little book to flog. He's doing about 8 of these handbooks. There's number 1, of course. Some of you might recognise him. So we did a swap. I gave him my book and he gave me his. To Make the Compost King, Reg Mole's Garden Diary. One of the best speakers ever. He's a good lad. Right, this is on the Friday before the show, day before the show. I rounded up the troops. I think there was I think we had 10 and 1 dropped out. And basically, it's just putting everything together. Luckily, Mark Robinson has got a more of a put me upper as I have. I've bloody bits left over at the end. But we had a nice dry day. We managed to get the troops doing there. So basically it's getting the roof up elevated first. But the make of this was superb. The material is excellent. This one, 12 by 6 metre. The original one we had, still in the bloody post. Well, we've got it now. But because we knew we weren't going to get that in time, we had to get this one from UK Tents. And luckily they delivered. But this one was the Supreme, which was a bit dearer than the last one. But it was the last one we had, we got no choice, so we had it. But luckily we got the people to give us a hand. And once the curtains are up, obviously if it's a nice sunny day, windless or whatever, you can open these up, or open one, or just leave the lot. But I'm just Velcro together. Perfect. And when it's all done, brilliant. We then put another one up. This is a small one because there's still a bit of room missing. So this one we bought earlier on, I think that was £100. And then we got another small one there, just in case we do need it. But luckily it stayed dry for us. Right, staging wise, we used to get 4 lengths of trestles and tables in the old hall, but the width of this we couldn't get 4 in. Those are narrow. I think they were about 3.5 foot. These boards and these ones was 4 foot wide, and it was too narrow to walk down. We couldn't do it, so we had to come up quickly with a solution, which we did do. So a couple of lads got the saw, and we had to chop, I think it was 8 inches off both lengths of these 4 foot boards. Meaning now that was all the same size, so we could walk down. Obviously it's got to be a good walkway for the judge so he can judge it, and then for people on the show day itself. So that was a bit of extra work, but once the work is done, then it's ready for next year as well. So we had to job that as well. And then the normal 4 foot boards are going here, and the cakes, wine and produce are going on that one. And everything else are going this one. But on the day, say the afternoon, the sun come out as well, and the wind dropped, and we got loads of help, which is what you need. So on the night when I got home, getting my stuff up ready, anything that ain't worth exhibiting, I take it up the old folks home again. And the last thing I was doing Friday night was just tying up my 3 shallots, which I pick out of these, ready for the class tomorrow. So a bit of raffia is going around there. And there's a Gladdy opened up. I'm leaving him in until about dinner time-ish on the Saturday, then I'll come and cut him, because I want him as best as I can get him. So the later I pick him, the better. And there's Dave and Sue coming in. Sue's just these are local Zoomers. We had a tour there a couple of months ago, their back garden. If you remember, I had these canners in there, and I talked them into putting 2 into the show. But I got that excited just thinking about the auction. I forgot to enter them in the flower class, but they'll go in there. Right, judging starts. Staging is from about 10:15 in the morning, well, as soon as I'm home. And staging finishes 2:15. Then we have the judging. Where am I? We've got Bob Carr this side, he's doing the veg. Then you've got Derek Walker the other side. He's a well-known horticulturist, local chap. He does most flower judges. That's Mark, still going around with the judge. this lot should have been filled with chrysanths. We didn't have one chrysanth this year. Our main grower, I messaged him week before just to remind him, as I do with most of them, because I'm going on a bit. She says, yeah, no fret. Anyway, he never come. And I think we may have lost him. So we got to do a bit of refurbishing next year. Right, let's go back on him. Ready for me, Will. Right, first winner tonight on the wheel. Neil. Ooh, Susanio nearly trotted some. I could have had that holiday then. Next one. So yeah, not is it? Colin. I hope bloody Colin's on tonight. Right, let's get out of the road. Right, show day. This is when the judges have been around, and then we've put all the prize cards out. So this was the class 1, which is the heaviest onion. And luckily Nick come up from down charred, and he put a £10 5 ounce onion in. Good lad. Judge says, do you want pounds and ounces or kilos? I says pounds and ounces, please.
£10.
And then nice pair of pot leeks there. We had the 2 lads from Wednesbury, Neil Hans and Chris Evans. Good to see them 2 again. Yeah, Chris Evans got first with them. Nice and clean, good pair of pot leeks. Chris Evans, again, he also got best in show. Oh, I'm on that photo with 3 onions. Nice bit of meat on them. I mean, it's hard to get 3 onions the same, but to get them that size. Don't forget,
that was my seed I gave him, Mick.
Sorry?
That was my seed I gave him last year.
Oh, he never told us that, did he? Good man, good man. But to get them 3 the same colour, same shape, same size, it's bloody hard. It's hard to get bloody 3 little ones, let alone big ones. But them was good. And the show, because we had to do the first Saturday in September this year, first time ever. It's always been the second Saturday. Because we had no choice, because when we moved to this venue, Town Football Club, I'd already given that Saturday away to a wedding. So we got no choice, we had to pick the first Saturday of the month. Meaning, because it clashes with these 2 from Wednesbury, the second Saturday of the month, they could never show at ours because they've already got a show on. So they was free to come to our place, luckily for us. So that'll be alright for next year as well. So they'll be back as well. And Nick got that excited, he's coming back again next year. Good lad, good lad. Right, next one, this is Shallots Exhibition Shallots. There's some decent entries in there. Small onions. Right, red onions. Produce was down this year. Most of the shows have been down. It's stuff going to seed, or well, it's been a bloody funny year anyway. So we knew the produce would be down, but we still wanted to put a show on for us lot and them. But them 3 there I put in. Those was red onion sets from Wilco. But I mean, so anything like that. So this is obviously a class of 3 onions from sets. So anybody can do them. Peas, we don't get many of them. But we did get 3 in, so that we got a first, second and third. Tomatoes, we always get a good supply in. If you notice the vermiculite or sand, what they put underneath, this helps to hold the tomatoes upright. Obviously, we got none of them all on there because that underneath you'd have holes in there underneath the felt to hold them upright as well. Don't forget the judges picked up all these up to have a look underneath and firmness and that, so he ain't going to put them down exactly how the exhibitor would put them down. But you can see the different varieties, which is what the judge likes as well. I likes to have those. Cucumbers, set of 2. Obviously the different strains, different colours, but basically 2 the same size, nice and straight, same colour, and both with the flowers on the end. I judged a few years ago, one of the first times I ever cheated, a flower come off, so I super glued it back on. But it did work because I got fussed with it. Runner beans, the judge always snaps one of them, so you can see this on all these lot. He went from the second from the right. On every set, he picked the same bean up, and then he snapped it just to make sure it snaps nice and clean. If that's stringy, they're going to be stuck together. Beetroot, judges years ago used to slice a bit out, just have a look at the rings inside the beetroot, but then we stopped it anyway because everything that is put into the show gets sold on the auction on the night, and nobody's going to buy beetroot if it's got a slice out of it, so we stopped it. Always say just put 3-inch tops on. Cauliflowers, 2 nice ones there, nice and white, nearly the same, and not too many dents in or old gaps. But Jimmy Checkits is a good veg man for us lot. Then you got your long carrots, your stump carrots, and your parsnips. Peppers, we always get a good dollop of these in as well. There's always now more chilies than the sweet peppers. Them was mine there. Not completely ripe, they are now. I'm as yellow as a ferret, but I still was going to put them in, although they weren't ready. But there's long ones as well. Who is that there? Nick, he's a good lad. Hope I'm coming up to the presentation. First Thursday in November, Nick. I bet I'm working, ain't you, mate?
What day is it, Mick?
First Thursday, November.
No, I could probably book a day off for that.
Oh, good man.
Yeah.
With a night on the ale. Sprouts, I usually bung them in as well. But this year, it's one of the worst years I've had for growing veg. Through different reasons. So next year will be my year. Garlic, we always get a good dollop of them. Them 2 is huge. And what a judge is looking for is 2 identical, no split skins, nice and clean with them on there. In fact, them are nice and clean as well. But,
Mick, I'll be interested to know on the garlic when they started them. Was it spring? Would it be spring? Because I overwinter mine. Start probably about late October.
Albert, I'll make a note and ask him.
Yeah, interested.
Albert. Start garlic. He's a good grower now, Albert and all. He's a moaning person, but he does grow a lot of veg. You just have to keep him in the place. Then we always have a class for any other veg not mentioned. This is always extra what people do. And then we got some meat on them. We knew them had come somewhere. We bloody use them. Right, this class here is Colin's collection. When he passed away on us, because he used to like to see his onions, shallots, and onions large and small, and his shallots. We bought in another class and just called it Colin's collection. We put 2 large onions in. Obviously, we sent to our 2 onions under 8.8 ounce or 250 gram. 3 large shallots, and then 3 pickling shallots. and then you get marks on a card for each set of them, and then the points are added up. So that's the first one of that. And this is the next one, obviously the winner of the collection as well. So the first one we just said, he's got two better shaped onions, but these two skins have dried off nicer. If you got a neck, he's got shoulders on him. If you got a more of a neck, that one, they'd be bloody near enough perfect. And then his 8-ounce onions, they were dried off well as well. But he won that. And there's my pathetic onions. These two I had off Mark Robinson. He gave me 2 spares, luckily. Otherwise, I would have been able to enter. But next year, I should do well. So I think the second place was 2 points above me, and the first place was 5 points above. But I was chuffed with my 8-ounce and my shallots, pickling and my large shallots. So that was them 3 there. We usually have about 5 lots in them. But next year we'll all come back. Because when we did the schedule and we got to everyone, we couldn't. There's always some people who you haven't got addresses of because they live a distance away and all this. And then got phone numbers and we couldn't get out of them. But they will now by next year. Right, this one is Colligate Master Gardener. You have to put 1 flower in, then 3 sets of flowers, i.e. 1 vase, I should say. 1 vase of 1, 1 vase of 3. And then there's veg you can pick from. So that's 3 large onions, 6 shallots, and then a display of fruit. And you then get marked exactly the same again on each one you put in, each plate or flower. And then the marks are added up. So that was Jimmy Checkett, so he's getting into it now. Right, and that was mine. Gladys, that's the one we had earlier on. So I went and chopped in because I only needed 1 in that one. But the vase of 3 flowers, they haven't all got to be the same, just as long as you've got 3 flowers in. So 2 of my prims, which I got there, put that in with him. And then I got 1 odd one there, and I bunged him in as my single. I got my 3 8-ounce onions, and then my 6 exhibition shallots. But as you can see, I've got a good display of fruit. And just to show it off a bit more, I always put the large leaves, the largest leaves of the fruit, and the leaves from the grapevine.
Mick, I'll be in.
First. It's just like, like a tablecloth. It ain't bare, but it just shows it off a bit better. And if you remember earlier on, them black markings are on my grapes. They're more clear now. So, and all that fruit. Yes, Nick?
I'd be interested. I think I mentioned it when I was up there. Those strawberries, I'd love to know what variety they are.
I'll find out for you. I've still got it on the email when I sent for them because I flagged it. I know that, well, obviously they're my later, that's why I had them. But it's a new one come out a couple of years ago. I'll job that one as well. Straub name. Right, so that was a photo. Remember the old photo I took on, and I was getting black bits on my grapes, as you can see there. And all I did was cut all them black bits off every bunch. But since I did that, they all started growing normal again. So God knows what this was. I've googled it, asked fruit people, and never seen it before. I ain't got a clue. Steve Chambers, got a question, mate? Got your hand raised. Lost him. Right, Gladys. Had a few Gladys put in, luckily. And A good thing, one of the women that come in is from an allotment side down Starbridge. Had never exhibited before, and this was a couple of weeks before. I says, what do you think I ought to put in? I says, anything you've got ready. I says, well, how do I know how to put it in, stage it? I says, anything you've got, just bring it in and we'll help you out. And that's what I did. And it was over the moon. I think I got about 9 cards to say your first time you've ever entered. And those were 3 of hers. So I had done me. I haven't even got a Gladi to put in the Gladiola section, because I had to keep mine for me my own collection. And 2 new Prims in. This was he's always been a good flower man, Roger, and his old man was a proper dahlia grower, judge, everything. I knew he did Gladys, but I didn't realise he did Prims, so it was nice to see some of them in as well. And there's the only one I had to put in, which was Naff, but I'm still going to put it in because I've got it. But love them. Next year. And then somebody won with these, Ulstrom area. Never even thought about putting in here. I'll be in next year. Dahlias again. Going across. There's some decent ones in there. Noel, we'd lost him, but he's come back again. He was a good dahlia man. We got him back again this time. Right, cakes, obviously them all got covers on them, health and safety and all this gumph. And then all the preserves, jams, pickles and the wines. Pumped them in this tint out of the road. Kids section. A couple of kids put these in, I think it was kids. Pickled eggs and all. We have anything else not mentioned as well with the pickles.
Bought them, Mick, and ate them on the night.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
That's it. Oh, do we? I've bloody got them from. I thought we'd be on the bar. Who put them in? Do you remember?
Mike and Jean.
Were they?
Yeah.
Bloody lovely.
I said that helps it. The old chili in there. Hurrah, brilliant. But these always go well on the night, and these lot. Because we can't auction them, we have to put some soft like a cucumber up, and so you get a bottle of wine free and get around the law that way, just in case some ragwort complains. But I did well with the wine, and I had best in wine as well with him. Banana, he's always a good one.
Yeah.
Right, quiches, cakes, these always go well on the night. And there's one quite a few bid for, especially after the second half. We have a break halfway through. We start the auction at 8, finish about 9:30. Paul does the auctioneering, which you'll see later on. We have a break halfway through so you can have a piddle and a pint. And then after the second half, people have had a few beers by then, and they start bidding for the stuff. And we start getting the best exhibits out. But the chocolate cake, everybody goes for that, and the quiches, because I'm getting a bit hungry by then, so you can eat anything. But some of these were superb. Look at that chap there, Boston. Kids section, that was a bit low this year, which we usually get a few of them in as well, which we will get more in next year because we shall advertise it better. Bread puddings, them always go well as well on the night. In fact, everything does. But I've got quite a few first, which I was chuffed with. But there's quite a few women on the, well, 2 on them on the site. They've never been to the show, and they've come up and said, "Oh, I could have put some jam in." They will next year. Sausage rolls. That bread pudding.
Making me hungry.
These two on the auction, was it 15 quid they went for, Paul?
Yeah, I had the one.
I know you had one. But beautiful plants, especially the in flower as well. Even just looking at the leaf of the plant, the colours on the leaves. Without the flower, they look beautiful. But in flower as well, superb. I owe them to a drink. Oh, I forgot I put a close up. But they went on the night as well. And this was about, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:30 or something. I thought, well, there's a few Zoomers here, so I rounded them all up.
That was before we started, Mick, on the night.
Before we kicked off?
Yeah.
There's Neil and Chris from Wednesbury. Jared.
Oh, please sit down.
Stu and Dave, just down the road. Muddy Boots. He come down for the day. He stayed with us. He's a good lad. Did some filming. You see it on me YouTube. Boston bit of film, that is. Mark is getting into it now. He's getting into the swing. Oops. Get that back in. Paul at the back, he put his loud shirt on. He says, I thought we was wearing the loud shirts. He says, no, that's on the presentation night. But he bugs on in the road. Nick from down Chard, he came up for the day, well, and the night. He's a good lad. And he got that well. He had that good a day. He's coming round again tomorrow, next year. And he's bringing a load of stuff up again. Good man, good man. And then a surprise visitor from Cheshire. Good to see and another Zoomer. But it was good to see these lot. And hopefully we'll get a few more Zoomers to the show next year. And just take a night off, stay the night, travel lodge. You can stay for the auction then and have a few beers. But it's a good day and a good night. And there's Paul flogging a cake. So the marquee is out here. And we got runners who just bring it in through the doorway. Mark and Gina taking the money. And we've got the runners taking the stuff round as well. But it's a good night. And the good thing about it, everything went on the night. We got rid of all the stuff. Where am I? On the night itself, we made 676 quid. That's with a raffle as well. But to say that the produce was down, i.e. on the show itself, we did well on the night. And obviously the next day, the Sunday, we got to dismantle everything. And the weather was kind for us again. It didn't rain during the night, and it was nice and dry dismantling. So the staging, the tabletops and the trestles, then were brought round here back into our metal container, which is this side of the road. And then we'd start dismantling everything else. But because it was Sunday morning, those at work on a Friday who couldn't help us set up, we'd got them extra on the Sunday. So there's these tables which I borrowed from a school, 30 years ago. When they had new tables, we used these for staging, like for the people, the flower people. Dahlia, Chrysanth, Gladys. So them are put in after as well. So the tabletops go on first, down lie flat, and then the trestles go this side, just so you can pack everything in. And then the cover comes off, which is laid out. Once that's dried, that's folded over. And then folded over again. Because there's a bit of moisture when we did fold it over, just a quick wipe with the towels. And it was perfect. We can get that away. But I say, we had a good turnout of people, which is what you need anyway. Make life easier. Back home the next day, what opened up? One of me Gladys. One of me Velvet. I needed him on the day. Did day work. But everybody's in the same boat. Love them. Proper velvet. Look at him. So he went down up the home with another onion and some more leeks. Right, what happened? Was it second marquee arrived after the show day? So we'd have been in the crap if we'd have waited for him. But luckily, I made the decision to order another one, or we did as a committee. Small print. We may be using this marquee as well, this second one, next year, meaning giving us more room. But that's more work. That's got to be talked about next committee meeting. I.e., we need the people to put that up as well, and we've got to make new trestles and tables, which we've got the money to do, but it's just extra work again. But that'll be sorted out at the next committee meeting. Bigger the show, the better. So there's the next lot, which they delivered off from Denmark. This was stuck at customs, apparently, because of coming out of Brexit. I thought, well, shit the British, they'll shit on you, and they did. They stopped everything from coming over. That's why we had to buy another marquee. Still, that is life. Right, Nick's onion, the biggest onion he put in. This one has to go to Ashwood's Nurseries, our main sponsor, because they give us 60 quid in vouchers from Ashwood Nurseries. That's a 30 quid voucher for first prize at Everest Onion, 20 quid voucher for second prize, then a 10 quid voucher. So that was taken up to Ashwood's. I did a quick swap, give them the onion, they put that on display, and then they flogged their onion seed. They don't tell people that their seed will give you an onion that size. But it gives us a good sponsorship, so I don't say sod all either. But so there's yours, Nick. In fact, when you come up, if you come up on the early afternoon, you can have that, or next morning if you've got time to go Ashwards. But we'll sort that out anyway. And something I always, because I put my best shallots in, obviously showing them. That's what I bid for on the night. I always split the shallots up into 3 or 4 bags, and we flog one off, because I know there's a couple more lads wanted them as well. So say they went for 5 quid, the first bag. This is right, I got another 3 bags, and that's all we got. We wanted them for 5 quid. But they went straight away, because people are after them. So keep them for next year, get them back home, and then put them in my trays. And the ones underneath, the trays underneath, that's where my gladdies will be going next week or week after. They'll be drying off in there as well. So I'm in the garage 3 or 4 times a day, so I've got air circulation, which is what everything needs to dry off and be looked after. Right, while I was down there, when we dismantled on the Sunday our marquee, I don't know whether I mentioned before, but at the AGM, the plot AGM, I told them they needed a new chairman. I was going to wrap my hand in. Everybody's jaw dropped because they told nobody. And then on Sunday afternoon, when we dismantled the marquee, I said the next house burst, which is I'm going to give you plot up. And the jaws dropped again. But they should have clicked on. When I first moved my compost bin from the plot up to the back garden, and then I started getting raised beds, pots, and saying I'm going to get fruit trees up the top of the back garden. And this is why. Less stress and hassle from where I was getting down the plot. It's less work. I can look after my stuff easier at the back garden. I've got a good sized back garden. I can do all the fruit and veg I'm doing, except the blanched leeks and pot leeks. That's only two things I'm not going to do. But we've got people to cover them with Chris and Neil, because that's what they enter. And we need them for the sponsors anyway. We'll have people on the night when they get the stuff. So my proper handover is this Thursday or Friday, when I'll leave my plot altogether. Because all I want up is my gladicorns, which I'll get up Thursday, Friday. Also, something else which I need out of me. This is my tunnel on the plot. So in this bed here, when they was cremated, it's mother, father, Colin and Alf. So I just took the cover back, collected a bit of them, and they can go up the back garden. So I'm still with me. I can still talk to them. Right, live plans, I had them come through in the post. There's quite a few adverts now as different things. And I saw these little chaps, Penstem and ice cream and whatever. But they look nice. I thought I'd get me a few of them for next year. And there was quite a few and these little chaps, Aquilegia. I should have took a photo of what they sent out originally. The colours on them are superb. But these were crap, and there's only 3 left. I potted these on, so I've got to email them and give them a telling off. But normal thing, good watering, pot them on. There's the chaps as they come. Not very strong. Nick, mate, got your hand raised.
I think that's I know you're giving it up, but I think that's quite a plot you're giving up there. There's been a lot of hard work. I've watched you over the years.
Yeah.
And whoever's going to take that on, I'd be very jealous, to be honest.
I was thinking about Jim, who's got 2 kids down the bottom. He's on the plot down there, but he's too far to the toilets for his kids. Plus, where he is now, he can keep an eye on them. So he went out the window. Then there was Paul and Mark. I was going to get them too, but they've both got ducks, chickens, which would be quite a bit of work.
The work you've put into that plot, I've watched the videos and seen it and everything. I think that's a remarkable plot and something must have been hard to give up, to be honest.
There's still a mate who's having it. There's somebody who come on site a couple of months back, and he's old man. I joined up with him in the mob. So for well, I know he ain't got it, although he's doing a lot of weeding for his son and that. But at least somebody's got it who I know is going to look after it and appreciate it.
I wish I lived up there because I'd have it.
Yeah.
So I just potting these on. These went in the tunnel, as you can see there. Just every other day, so I just have a quick nose, see if they need watering. First time we do get a cold night, then I'll probably, well, obviously move it back into the greenhouse. But all the bags are moving up from the plot to the back garden, i.e. to fill my raised beds up. So these are all my ingredients, which I've had for my composting or whatever. So all that stuff's been bought up as well. So all my raised beds are now empty, so I've got all my bags of gum. And my water butt, which I'm jobbing as well. Right, another talk. Where was this? Western Rin. This is North Wales. I've been here 3 times now. It's a quaint little village, proper quaint little village. What talk was I doing here? Where am I? I think there's fruit growing for beginners, but this is the first talk they had as well. And wherever I go, there's always something on. It's either a flower they have to bring in. This is blossom, but this time it was a photo. So I had to judge these. Yeah, fruit growing for beginners. And I had a good sesh there. More plants come. Potting them on. Right, I'm still deadheading. If something dies off, then I want the plant to keep going, so I'm going to take all the seed off, all the deadheads, so he will carry on flowering. And I'm still doing that with quite a few things. Aquilegia is finished, so I'll chop them off as well. Just look after them. Right, if you remember, top of the garden, the water butt used to be right there on a, well, blocking everything right on the end. So I thought I'm going to utilise that space, which is at the back of the shed. Don't forget, I want every bit of room I can find. Because looking down, that was the gap. Oh, there was nothing down here. Because me wet, I had another water butt here. Metal drum. And I never used it, but I cleaned all that crap out. Now I can utilise that. So what I've done is that I've lifted this water butt. It was probably this height before. But I've lifted him straight up, meaning I'm using that back shelf because there's 2 bricks width. So he's pushed right back up against that fence, meaning I can now walk down that side, I can get down there. So that's what I've done. So there's old scaffolding boards which are here. These were used to raise my water butt on the in my tunnel on the allotment site. So I've used them to raise it. And them are not going to rot because, which we'll come on to in a minute. Just looking down that side again. That's what the water butt used to be on. There's 3 of them, but I only need 2 now because I've got that the level, same level as this. As you can see, I've put a cement on the top of that, so that is level now, and that's where the water butt's going to go. So he's right back. So my boards, which are that block are lifting it, I've now got black and white horticultural plastic, which does not deteriorate or just takes a while to deteriorate. I'm going to do exactly the same as what I used to do with my raised beds on the allotment when I did them with scaffolding boards. Once the boards are dry, I cover them in black and white plastic and then tape it solid, meaning I'm going to stay like that for 20-30 years. So basically I'm just sealing it, and he is now under there. So that is going to stay like that for moons. They're going to rot or nothing. And this is now full because I've done it today. And I've still got the drop, so it fills it. This is still high enough, coming off the side of the shed. It's still high enough to fill my water butt. As you can see there. Right, these are climbers from Keith Iron. And I think all of them now have reached the top wires, which is good. We got nice flowers on it, which is even better. So that'll be more established for next year. And my black-eyed Susies, the left one is about 3/4 way up the pole, and these are different colours, not just pink. As you can see there, not just yellow, sorry, as there are pinks as well. So this is a right hand line prop, and they're getting covered as well. Delphiniums, if I remember earlier on when they finished flowering, I just cut them off soil level stems, give them a good feed, and they will give you another supply of flowers. And these just started coming out now. We had a good rain and wind last night, so I had to tie them up again today. But them are coming through well, and my dahlias are opening up. If he was open last week, he'd have gone in the show.
That's a nice one.
But everything is doing well. The gladdies, which I've planted at the back as well, them are coming through. So there's another delve. Is showing up. Tesco went down to get some which little low flog. So while I was in there, I got some more spent coffee grounds. Just take all the rubbish out. I'll break these up with my hands, and if you can dry them out, it will last longer. If it stays moist and wet, then it starts going a bit mouldy and whatever. Right, last Sunday, why didn't we have nothing last Sunday? I went on a reunion. This was a travel lodge down Reading we ended up at. I joined the mob 55 years ago, last Sunday. I left school at 15. You've got to be 15 and a half before you can join the Navy. I got a job lined up, although it was only in a stamping mill, whatever. But luckily they had a vacancy, and they rung us up. This was I left July 66, September I joined. Sorry, it's only 2 months. I said, if anybody asks, you're 15 and a half, although I was only 15 and 2 months, that says you can either come now or you can hang on. I says, I'm coming. Basically, I love my mother father, but father was a bit strict, meaning I couldn't have stayed at home. I wanted to get away. Anyway, that's why I joined, to get away from home. Still loved him, still good to see him, but I couldn't have coped. So all the crap they give us, i.e. all the bullshit and everything, because father was very strict. I could take it what they give me at Ganges, meaning everybody had to climb this mast. There was no health and safety and none of that crap then. And I just legged it up there. Button boy, which is right at the top, that's a volunteer job. I didn't go that far. I went to the Devil's Elbow, I think that was. But most people went up as well. There's quite a few lads just wanted to get away from them. Anyway, that's where we joined up, and then it was a 12-month training. I think it's only something like 4 months now, 5 months. But that was a 12 months of hard grind, which I enjoyed. I liked a challenge. One of the challenges, was Keppel mess I was in, and all the wooden floors, these was little blocks, obviously stuck together, and we had to scrub them on a night with a toothbrush, and you either put up with it or you got thrown out. That's how they dwindle you out. Kit inspections, these was daily, and every bit of kit you had to embroider, you had to sew with the red embroider, even your socks, you had to put your initials in. But it worked, discipline, but I enjoyed it. So this was that reunion. I hadn't seen these lot for 55 years, to the day. Excellent. We started off early dinner. We met up at dinner time because of first one there. It just had a pint, so I started drinking. And we went straight through. We didn't even stop to get changed, have a shave, shower or nothing. The gaffer looked after us in the place itself, because the restaurant weren't open, and he knew we was coming for a reunion. He let us have a takeaway, bring it in. And obviously this is a bit later on, we've had a few beers. And that was, I think, about 11:30, we're still going. And I don't know how I lasted, although they got 2 bottles of rum in as well. The gaffer let them bring some rum in. But if I'd have had that, I'd have collapsed. I can't mix my drinks now. If I start on the beer, I'll stay on it. If I start on the rum, I'll stay on that. But Boston night, good to see the lads. Right, that was that. Billsthorpe Miners Welfare Club. This was Wednesday, just gone. 2.5 hours to get there. Bloody traffic. Anything going north from Brum, you get the works traffic. And everybody going north. Pain in the arse. 1 hour 40 to get back home. I'd been there before, a few here. And who paid me a visit? Steve Chambers. He's a good lad. He said he might come. I hid in the toilet for half hour. I thought, but he bloody told me, oh, happy birthday for yesterday, Steve. Yeah, do look at that, a day over 64. So it's good to meet up with Steve, and that was their first meeting as well. In fact, they're their AGM before I get this spiel. Gordon Bennett. There's some funny AGMs about. Anyway, that was a good night. They enjoyed it, and did that one. Then the day after, Thursday, I started rolling in now. This is Trefon, Oswestry. 3 talks I've had to different gardening clubs in Oswestry this month. Weird. This was their first meeting again, and they had 5 new members, and they enjoyed that one, and the new members are coming again for the next one. Let's hope the speakers are as good as me. But that was a good one. And I think it's quarter now before I was supposed to due to start. I think I started at 7:30. There's only 5 people in there, and that was fretting. And by about 25 to 8, we'd near enough fill the place out. And so they got 5 noons as well. But there's still people still reluctant to come out with all the talks I've done to so far, especially the old ones, which you can't blame them. Well, it's up to them. But we're slowly getting my talks back in, which I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing these, the Zooms, but go be to talk. My next talk, which is tomorrow, this is at Mole Brace Allotments and Garden Club. This is in Shrewsbury. This talk's on raised beds and no dig cultivation. So if anybody does live near Shrewsbury, it's a £3 entry. In fact, it's £3 membership, so you get membership all year. So if you're local and you fancy a nose, doors open at 7 and they kick off at 7:30. If I'm interested, just message me and I'll give the address of the place. Doc Martin, love him. He's just finishing the new series, well, the last series he's doing of that. When I was up the kids with the Caslon Gardening Club, they all said, "Yeah, I'm like Doc Martin, you shout at us like he does with his presents." Love him. Saw that and dear vegans, I have to kill the cow because it was eating your food. I thought that was brilliant. Obviously. That's why I put it on. And that's it, people. That's your lot for tonight. I think Nigel, Gladdy Nigel, I think he's still showing, isn't he? I know he's at a show this weekend, so I'll get him to get some photos on for next weekend. And Nigel, will you be at Malvern next Sunday? Saturday or Sunday? Yeah. So you should get some photos for the week after then. Yeah, good man. So if anybody's got any photos, if you've been to any shows, you put any stuff in, just send me the photos with a write-up ready for next week. Right, anybody got any questions? You can all unmute yourselves.
No.
Hope you've enjoyed it.
No, the only thing I'd like to say is, all I'd like to say is, because of COVID, the last 2 years have been really difficult, and the show up Colligate was excellent. I'm sure it will be much bigger and better next year. It's been 2 years of difficult growing, but next year back to normal. Let's hope. Yeah, let's hope so. Jeffrey said he'd come over from Belgium next year as well for the show. That'll be good to see. And he's going to bring some stuff if they let him bring it over.
That's right.
They might stop him and all.
They'll hold it at customs first.
Yeah.
Brexit.
Pain in the arse, isn't it?
No.
Oh, that talk I did at Western Ring, North Wales. Andy Wright turned up as well, because he's only up the road in Chester. It's only downhill a bit. No. So he can give us a visit. Always good to see Andy.
Whereabouts are you, Mick? Is it the Midlands? Midlands. Sorry? Whereabouts are you? Is it the Midlands?
West Midlands, yeah.
West Midlands.
Oh.
Not far away, Suzanne.
Well, I'm in Essex, so.
2 hours.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, Mickey, welcome, Susan. Mickey, welcome.
Oh, no, I'd like to, but I mean, I've not been out because I've still been shielding. I've got so many illnesses that I've not been out for a year and a half.
Scary, isn't it?
It is scary, yeah.
Very scary, yeah.
Yeah.
The spike funny up there, though.
Oh, look at him.
I know, I
Fucking
noticed.
Look at him.
I was worried travelling to
Bilston,
Birmingham,
look.
where it was
I'll
not
probably
Birmingham.
speak-
Mick's going to
I'll probably
bollock me, man.
speak funny down here.
Birmingham.
It's
Did he
gonna
say?
bollock me.
That's a different
Nick.
country, Birmingham is.
Nick, do you say Birmingham then?
I
Where's
didn't. No,
Birmingham?
no.
We're black
And then
country.
what's Boston?
Yeah, I'm a
Boston.
Brummie Pool.
That's it, Boston. That
Boston.
means
What does
good.
that mean?
Means good.
Brilliant.
Good.
Oh,
Good.
right, okay.
Good.
Why can't you just say good?
Nah.
We'll spell it.
Trademark.
Okay, that's what I'll say.
It's only good in the back country.
All right. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Cheers, Nick, mate.
Good night.
Cheers, Nick.
Cheers.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, mate. Good night, all. Take
See you
care,
all,
all.
folks.
Cheers,
See
Nick.
ya.
Good
Yep.
Andy.
See you all.
Yep. See you
Yes.
now.
Bye, mate. Well done. Good to see you again, Mick.
Cheers, Jerry, mate. Good man.
I'm back in circulation again now, particularly this night. So hope to see you more Sundays.
Good man. Cheers, Jerry.
Yeah, take care.
So quick before you go, Mickey says
Yeah.
Thursday's your last day on your plot, is it?
Yeah.
So you'll only be going there just to look after the shop.
Yes. I'm still on site, just doing the training sheds.
Yeah.
Because a few have said, well, you ain't going all together. So no. You'll still see me.
How big is your garden then, if you're going to do it all in your
It's a
garden?
good size, and because before these were terraced semis, that was all terraced houses. Terraced houses have a good size, my God.
Hmm.
But
How many feet is it? Top to bottom?
I'll measure it and tell you next week. You're a detective, Susan.
No, I'm just curious because mine is about 80 foot, I think. But then I've got a double garage at the bottom, and then I've got about 2/3 of the lawn that I've dug up. And there's only a little square bit of lawn now, so I'm growing in the garden as well.
Yeah, I can see me doing that eventually.
Much better. It's much
Nick-
better.
nicking some
Much
lawn.
better. You can spend more time in there as well because you only got to step out the door.
You can't get away from the other half, though, Susan. That's the problem.
Oh, you can. You just hide behind the beams.
I'm going behind the shed now, all right.
I can just go in the greenhouse and shut the door.
Yeah. I
There's-
could
there's
look
one-
after my produce better now in the back garden.
There's one good thing in all, Mick. You've got rid of the mole.
Yeah. Oh, we don't get moles here.
Are you taking your mat from the allotments, Mick?
Taking the one.
The mat?
Which one?
The one
You know the one-
fox. The one you pedal on.
The one? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'll leave them there. I think it might disintegrate if I try and pick it up.